So today's challenge with the Hirochi Outlaw is to see if I can actually complete a lap of the Hirochi Raceway. Stick around to find out. I'm hoping I'll be able to control them and maintain some kind of speed around the track without flying off, but I'm just going to give it a try and see how it works out. So let's jump over to the track, and this one's kind of cool. Like every time I rev it up and it's just backfiring, kind of first time I heard it, I was like, the deal with my sound, and then I was like, oh yeah, exhaust is popping pretty good. So let's see here, get lined up, and yeah, there you go. Little popping. Hopefully that doesn't peg the meters on my sound. I'll have to dial that in a little bit. All right, let's give it some throttle, get going, first gear. I'll just take it all the way up to 5th. I just can't get settled in tonight for some reason. Sorry, quit talking. I actually might get around the track, but how entertaining is that? Alright, get it slowed down for this little corner section here. No, don't get off in the dirt. Come on. Almost did that right. Not keeping a very good line, but hey, I'm actually going to make it around the track. Don't believe it. First time for everything. Yeah, I definitely... Cafe Racer is just a good balance for me. I don't know. See if we can make another lap. Oh yeah. A little touchy on the brake. Okay, so 1 lap. That's a new record. Yay. For me anyway. Mine draws a blank every time I try and think of this bike's what it's called. Anyway, all right. Give it another shot here. Just some burnouts with the Cafe Racer. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Never mind. I'm gonna make at least one more lap with this bike and see how far I can go, and then after that I'll switch over to the track day and hopefully have better luck. Oh yeah, so I mentioned before the controller I've got. It's a Nintendo Pro, and something about Nintendo controllers, I keep hearing about drift issues, and can guarantee this one has like weird dead zone drift issues all the time. I actually went through the settings in BeamNG and dialed the dead zone like over 25% just to get it to stay zeroed out. I noticed I was playing one time and my car was it just would take off and immediately start pulling, and I'm like, what, I just started, how is it broken? And then I realized, controller. I do like to have the little graph so I can actually go to that screen and see the dead zone. And just sit there and look when I first boot it up, and it's like all the way across. Like I'm steering it. I'm not even touching the controller. Then I reset it, and it seems like it'll be fine for a while, and the next time I come back to it, it does it again. So anyway, been a good little controller for the price. I shouldn't really even complain about it. But, you know, when I go to play or have the time that I can sit down and do this, really want it to work. And sometimes it just doesn't seem to cooperate. But, you know, like I said, someday I'll break down and replace it. Really curious if a different controller would actually help. Thinking it might, but you know, really hate to spend the money and then come home and find out it doesn't do any better, and it was just me all along. Because it is very possible that it's just my my abilities and driving skill that's what's causing the issue, not the controller. But you know, I'd have something to blame, right? Not really. I'm grateful for the controller I have. It just takes getting used to. Sorry, I keep just focusing on my writing. I don't know. Writing and talking is challenging. Not only that, I apologize if you hear me smacking. I'm chewing gum and I just realized that. So, sorry for that. So I'm doing 3 things. I'm talking, chewing gum, and playing this game. So, quite the challenge. Let's see, what else am I doing? Well, I don't have my phone in my hand, so not on my phone, so that's a good thing. It'd probably be the other thing I'd be doing if I was playing and on my phone and chewing gum and trying to talk and do all this at the same time. I don't think it would work real well. I'm having enough trouble with just the 3 things I'm doing at the moment. I watch all these other guys on YouTube, man. I'm just amazed. Like, you know, I watched a few guys streaming on Twitch, and I'm like, man, I don't even know. Like, and I see some of the games that they play, and I'm like, you know, way back, I used to play a lot of the Call of Duty games and stuff like that. Had a blast. I was never top tier by any means. I'll admit that. I had a lot of fun with friends playing. That's all that really mattered to me. And nowadays, you know, if I have time to just sit down, you know, a couple of times a week, get to play a few games, it's a blast too. Sometimes I get to play with friends, not nearly as much as I used to. A lot of friends have, you know, of course, everywhere I grew up, we got kids and family, and or they do, they have kids, but we all have our families, and harder and harder to get together. So I'm really grateful for all the time that I had playing with my friends online, and back in the day, you know, going over to each other's houses to play because we didn't have a lot of online games. Wow, I'm making more laps. I can't believe it. Finally settled in a little. I said that and I ran off the track. Love how that just, I jinxed myself by saying something like that, and oh, yep, there we go, off the track. Got out of my rhythm, I guess. I don't know. Just kind of chilling. Yeah, I can definitely playing these tracks with the cars and stuff. You know, you can see the car bouncing, the suspension working, and you can tell it's not the perfectly smooth track in certain areas, but on the bikes you can really tell it. And it's pretty much like, I don't want to say real life because I've never ridden a bike around a track like this in real life. I've ridden dirt bikes around tracks, and yeah, man, you can, it's amazing what those guys are hitting with the dirt bikes. Some of the jumps, I stand next to it and the jump's bigger than I am, and I'm a fairly tall guy, so Just amazed at the technology and stuff that goes into some of these things in real life and in the game. The little area to run out there, I always forget that. Try not to run through any of the dirt or the grass. It does okay. But when it's like the pavement on the side like that, it gives you a little bit more run out room. That area is okay. I had another lap. How many is that? I lost track. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, get off. Come on, get back on it. I just started talking and forgot what I was saying. Anyway, forgot what I was doing, I guess. Realized where I was and I was almost like panicked. Yeah, like I said, this Cafe Racer, I seem to have much better luck with it than some of the other bikes. And again, I don't know if it's just the setup of the bike or if it's just my controller, just me. Not really sure. Sometimes I think it's just getting in the right groove. Okay, and that ends that. Hopefully I'll get a good count of the number of laps. Maybe you can tell me in the comments below. I lost track. Let's go for the track day bike. See what it does for us. This wasn't really the video I had planned on putting together today. It's one of the ones I've been wanting to work on, but I had another one planned, and something about the setup and the way one of the mods I was going to try and use, even though they're all free mods, and I don't know if it's since the last update of 0.35 BeamNG, but I couldn't get the mods working. I didn't want to go back to 0.34 at the moment, so I just decided to go for something different today, and I'm kind of glad I did. I really like this motorcycle mod. All right, the track day. Yeah, I like this bike. Very nice. Let's see if I can get it to control as well as I did on the other one. So make sure I'm on manual. There we go. Love how this thing revs up. Stall it out off the line. That's good. I may have to go in and adjust the gearing on that one. This one also. Kind of forgot that. I don't know if that gearing stays with the different bike models when I change. I'm not real sure on the settings. I'll have to double check that in a minute here if I do that. I'll check it now. Yeah, it's on the early 600. That's okay. That's the standard for the track bike. I put it on long ratio. Seemed like that smoothed it out enough that I was able to keep it in control. Wasn't the fastest in that setup as far as like acceleration, but I think for getting me around the track, it's the best way. Yeah, this gives you a lot slower takeoff, but it will rev up and get going. I'm just going to try and keep it smooth and get it through the corners. I'll worry about speed at another day. Let's make a few smooth laps around the track. Should be able to speed it up down this anyway. Oh, don't do it. Yeah, get the speed wobbles coming up. Something about the brake setup on this bike too. Like if I grab the or hit the brakes like I would in a car, which I know it's not a car, but always seems to pop up the back end, just flip me, do a front flip with it. And I've learned, oops, get off the dirt. I've learned that if I actually hit the button that's set for my e-brake, you'll see that flash every now and then when I'm going into a corner. That seems to work the best. I don't know if it's just maybe locking the rear tire briefly and like helping me to slow down. I know if I hold it down and stay on it, it'll spin the bike right around. So I think it is actually engaging the rear brake. You know, probably should read all the notes from the mod creator and the forums and on the repo and see what it says, because it probably explains all that. You know, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play. I get really, really frustrated and really, really bored and have some free time besides being able to play. I might go back and read through all the notes. Sorry about that. Focusing on the riding again. I played some of the MotoGP games in the past, and well, they were pretty cool games. It's been so long ago. The one I played, I don't remember any damage model exactly. I know you could crash, fly off the bike, and that kind of stuff occasionally, but like as far as actual damage models and stuff, I don't really remember it. So that is one thing I still like about, you know, when they create stuff like this in BeamNG, you know, damage models there definitely gives you more of a challenge, because if you hit something, it's not just going to bounce off and you just go. Trying to get a rhythm going so far. Did not want to do that. Nothing like hitting your camera view right in the middle of a fast run down the straightaway. Could have been worse. Could have been in the corner here. I'm gonna have to go back and check my laps. I don't know how many I'm doing. I'm just going. Figure I'll stop when I crash. I don't do that. Come on. Get out of my rhythm. See if I can get back into it. Should have played this with the camera on. You would have been able to see me swinging my head back and forth like I'm going around the corners. I don't play VR. I've tried. I enjoyed it. But yeah, maybe I'll make a video one day with me a VR headset. That'll give you a good laugh anyway. Not quite as bad as some of the videos online, but you know, something in the game is leaning or turning or going, I'm like, I almost fall over. First time I saw somebody doing that, I'm like, yeah, right, it can't be that bad. And then I tried it, and I made the mistake. I was standing up the first time, and after that, I was like, no, better sit down. All right, so I'm able to make a few laps here. I think it's time to add some challenges. I think maybe throw in some traffic on the track. Maybe that'd be a good thing to do. If not, maybe I'll drop in some obstacles to give me a little more challenge. I mean, believe me, kind of challenging as it is, but it's gonna be a little more challenging with other cars driving around this track. Finish this lap if I can, and I will throw in some AI traffic and give us a little new fun thing to try. Start with some AI traffic, then maybe throw in some other things as I work my way around through the traffic. Nope, nope, nope. Get out of the grass. Get out of the grass. There we go. Oh yeah, I said I was going to do that after that stop. Okay. I mean after that lap. Let's do that. There we go. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. Unfortunately, I was running a little bit long. I didn't have time to get everything done I was hoping to in the video, so tune in to my next video. It should be coming out very soon in the process of working on it. I have a quick sneak peek I can show at the end here. If you have any other ideas or thoughts, you'd like to see something in the motorcycle videos that I've been doing, let me know. You know, as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the comments and the likes. I'm really getting some good input from people, and thanks again. Goodbye. Should be good. Oh yeah, wow, okay. Definitely a challenge to not get rear-ended. Oh, monster truck. Yeah.